Hello, and this is Distance from Center.
I'm Trent Finlayson.
I'm John Horton, and we're here to talk to you about some water skiing. Trent, first of all, where are you? What are you doing today?
So I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Don't believe the hashtags. This is the life of a water skier. I'm sitting in a Hampton Inn. Just skied with some amazing dudes. I got two more. I got a clinic tomorrow, and then a Radar Nation Day on Saturday.
Awesome. All right, well, I just skied twice today, had a good ride, pretty stoked. Subject matter for the week, the new Nautique. We're both Mastercraft guys, right? I mean, let's be blunt, we're biased. I think you'd agree with me, we're both happy, to do business with Mastercraft, and we like the product. But putting all that aside,
For sure.
give me your first thoughts on the
All right.
big news.
So anytime anyone else is helping, to drive the industry, obviously it's exciting. So, I've had one in front of me. I've actually, honestly, I'm yet to ski behind it. Probably won't ski behind one until next week. On the plus, I think. I think they made the inside looks a little more utilitarian, a little more user friendly. I think initially on the negative, there seems to be a lot of moving parts, but I wouldn't nitpick at it until I'd spent 100 hours in one.
Right.
What are you seeing?
Well, again, I haven't seen it. From a distance, I'll say this: I don't. You look at the windshield and all the stuff on it, and I don't really care for it. But I think the profile, if one went, down the lake behind the sunset in front of me, I think the profile is kind of classic. I think it's kind of cool looking.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, I guess an additional plus is it's pulled. I mean, to my knowledge, 3 tournaments. So the Masters LCQ. People skied incredibly well. Robert Pagozzi, ran 4:41, and so it obviously skis really well. At the Masters, the performances were incredible, a new course record. It pulled that Lake 38 event last weekend. Will and John battled it out, through a 4:41 tie. So, the big no-brainer. Wow, it skis great, it drives great. It's a Nautique, of course. It skis great, drives great. If it's helping push the needle of what's possible and what's expected out of a tournament boat, then you can't do anything but applaud the effort and it'd be interesting to see how that price or that supposed price point is going to fit in this demographic, but we'll know more about that in a year.
Well, and as we've talked about offline, if you're really an educated boat buyer, you know that MSRP is not everything, right? I mean,
same as buying a truck.
Right,
it's no
exactly.
different. Yeah.
So we don't really know what the boat's going to cost. We know what the sticker is.
Yeah.
As a website form administrator, the funny thing about the boat is all the rumors, not even so much the ones that got published, but the ones that I heard, were so amazingly wrong.
Yeah.
So for folks that are still hearing the chitter chatter, all of this really high-tech stuff that's they call it jewelry off the back of the boat, right? All these microtuners and hydrogates, it's in play in slalom, but honestly, most of what's really innovative or new is trick and jump stuff. They've got potentially 10 settings for hydrogate for trick. I think that when the rules settle down, it's going to be 3 or 4 or 5 settings.
Yeah. It's more of a variable gate system, not just on or off. So I think they've settled on there's 3 different settings you can use of the 10. There's a ballast system for tricks, which while it is it's obviously been around forever, but it just has never been utilized in a 3-event tournament boat before. So. There's going to be a lot of exciting stuff, and it's all, and of course you can go with the rumors of things not working and things breaking and no. But I mean, again, until we see it, until I ski behind one, all I can say is I'm excited, that someone else is kind of helping lead this charge, and coming out with new product.
Right. I guess my point before is for all the people who are primarily slalom skiers that heard all these crazy rumors, if you're a slalom skier, it doesn't really apply to you. If you're a slalom skier, what you care about, how does it drive, how does it pull, whatever. And so a lot of the new tech, I mean, I'm sure there's tech in the boat that's slalom specific too, but the stuff that got people frothy, it's trick and jump stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah. As far as slalom, I mean, there is a different setting for. That's not quite true. The driver is required to input the speed and
Correct.
line length for every pass, because there is a bit of a for certain speeds and certain line lengths, certain like the tuners will be engaged or disengaged, and there is a bit of a sliding matrix for that. But we'll see. It's already proved itself in a couple tournaments, and that's just really not any surprise. So.
I'm sure its skis and drives great, but it's the big news of the year, and I don't know. I have a new Mastercraft coming, and I can hardly wait.
Yeah.
All right. So as a side note to that, so Nautique used to be a company called Craft that owned Nautique, and Craft made a bunch of boats: Ski Nautique, Barefoot Nautique, Bass Nautique, whatever, and that's changed. Now Craft is a holding company, and they own Nautique, which makes the Ski Nautique and the wake boats and the surf boats. They own a company called Fine Line, which owns Centurion and Supreme. They own a bass boat and a pontoon boat company and a couple of cable parks, whatever. So where I'm going is there's a lot of disinformation out there about what happened to the Carbon Pro. The Carbon Pro was, and I've really talked to the people that are involved in the project, it was a Centurion product, and I think it was a great boat for the price. I was affiliated with them before. Especially for a price point, it's really hard to complain. And what happened was they were trying to make it more economical to manufacture it, so they were going to migrate it from the Centurion brand to the Supreme brand, so they could get basically they were trying to put more off-the-shelf parts on the boat, whereas the Centurion had a lot of one-off parts. And in the middle of the engineering of the changeover, it got expensive and it got behind schedule, and it's backburnered. So I think the message for the people who keep asking about this in my forum is it's not necessarily officially permanently canceled. I wouldn't put a deposit on one right now. I don't know that the Supreme Carbon Pro is ever coming, but we want to be fair to them. If they've got the opportunity to bring this thing back, it's a good product. It would be good for the sport to have a lower price point boat in there for people to come in to get started. And then, when they're addicted to the sport, they make some more money. Maybe they're going to stay in the Carbon Pro program, or maybe they're going to move up into the big three. So.
It was a great boat, drove great, skied great. But, I mean, bottom line is we can, kind of find these reasons, but, I mean, the bottom line is the bottom line, right? They weren't selling enough units, and that's it's inarguable. So,
right,
and it's surprising to me because it is a great boat at a great price. So, but this kind of goes back to, let's see, what the market will hold. If this seemingly really expensive Nautique has a place within this demographic, the fact that a more of a price point boat couldn't make it, that might speak volumes.
Right. It's interesting. All right, so there's your Craft news for the day. Hot in my forum this week. Got a press release from Zero Off, actually penned by Will Bush and Freddie Krueger, about the new Zero Off version. And let me tell my story on this, and then I know you guys' perspective on it too.
Yes.
So about 2 years ago, I get a call from this guy, ladies and gentlemen, Nicholas Parsons. Funny man. And Nick's telling me that I should go take my slalom boat and take it out of slalom mode and put it in trick mode. And as a person who rides a trick ski a handful of times a year, I didn't know what that meant, but I thought Nick was punking me. I thought I'd put it in trick mode, I'd turn for the gates, and the boat would fling me on shore, right? I didn't expect it to work. And of course, the truth is Nick had heard some folks down in Florida, some people kind of since the inception of Zero Off knew that they would get a little more gas from the ball to the wakes when trick mode. And so Nick told me about it, and we started talking about it in the forum, and I like to think the chatter in the forum kind of helped the people that do the R&D for Zero Off to kind of head down the path of developing it. And what I've learned from a lot of conversations with those people is Zero Off, regardless of letter and number, for every engine, there is a cap on the number of revs it will gain from the time the skier pulls the boat down a little bit until it catches back up. So you come out of the ball and you load the boat slows down. It can only increase so many revs or so many percentage. And the new plus mode, or trick mode, either way, what that does is that raises that limit and it raises the rate at which those revs can come up. So some people are really going to love it, and honestly, some people are going to hate it. With all the different skis that I ride, what I discovered was if I was on a slow ski and I came out of the ball and I kind of dug a hole, and then the boat said, hey, it's time to go, and it's in trick mode, it's painful because the boat's not waiting for me, the boat's just hammering me. But if I'm skiing really good on a fast ski and I'm carrying more speed out of the ball, come around and the boat gives me a blip of gas, switch edges early, and when you switch edges on the other side, it almost feels like the boat's backing up. You just get shot out there. So some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. The other downside, of course, is if you're in a dual puck boat, you can't do it because that hardware is outdated. It's whatever the technical is on those pucks. So Zero Off only made the software for the newer single puck boats.
Okay. So hopefully it's. I mean, it's likely visible. I almost fell asleep.
Sorry.
I have like one like boring. Like I really don't care. I get it. I mean, I got the same phone call and I appreciate it. I was like, yeah, cool. I went and tried it, and it like to me it feels more reactive. You know, it feels more like what I kind of remember stuff feeling like 12, 15 years ago or something. But I think. Personally, I'd rather go the other way. I'd rather get rid of ABC 1, 2, 3. I'd rather just everyone skis on B2 or whatever, and just, you know, I just don't. I don't know what we're trying to. What are we trying to gain? We're trying to make bigger skiers happier at 38 off. You know what I mean. I get it, and it's great. You know, if everyone had this sentiment, you know, we wouldn't be in this wonderful Zero Off system that we currently have. So. You know, we'd still be hand driving, but I'm just like, oh my goodness. I'd rather put efforts into, you know, building better skis and things that make a real difference. But that being said, you know, I guess someone's going to be happy, or if this sells another boat, then awesome. You know, if someone tries this thing, they're like, that is absolutely better. I'm going to buy a new boat. Then job well done. Otherwise, I'm like, eh.
Wow. I mean, I know guys at altitude are going to be happier because their boats are underpowered. I know our best friend in the coffee drinking world, Mr. Parrish, thinks it's significantly better for him.
Yeah.
Am I going to use it? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know my readers are like, they're up in arms and ready to like march on the castle gates.
I'm more like trying to figure out like how I can achieve like continuous acceleration and you know and I'm more into working on my craft and letting the boat do what it does. But you know that being said, like you know again, if it sells another boat or 10, then awesome. Job well done.
Okay. All right. So the folks in Kansas have decided that they're going to have a pro event with nationals. What do you know about it?
So, okay, man, I could not be more excited about this. This is absolutely incredible. You know, I feel like we go around like picking the low-hanging fruit and never really addressing like real or coming up with real solutions that, you know, if we want to save nationals, this is how we do it. This is absolutely incredible. What I know about it is, and I'll probably, you know, I'll learn a little more as everything develops, but the open divisions are going to serve as the prelims for a Friday pro final. So this is the resurrection of the U.S. Open as it formerly existed. This is a reason to go to nationals. I mean, you're going to get to go watch the very best pro skiers in the country, do what they do. This isn't a Wednesday night big dog. This is a real way of, and I don't want to use the term save nationals, but I mean, this is a real way of bolstering a once really prominent event. I could not be more excited. I could not have a bigger congratulations to the people in Kansas, and I'm sure Jeff Sergey had a big hand in this. This is real exciting news from my standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. So they've raised a ton of money. I don't know how unusual this is, but they've got contributions from all three major boat brands, which I think is really cool.
It's wonderful.
They're trying to get some dollars from each of the ski companies. They're in process of that. And by the way, if you're in the industry and you're watching this video and you don't know who to contact, shoot me an email. I'll put you in touch. They need a couple of more dollars. They'd like to eliminate entry fees from the skiers. And there's a little bit, we had kind of a conversation with them today where I was kind of like, well, these guys are paying their nationals entry fee. Are you really going to charge them extra to ski in America's Cup? And their comment was, if we can find the sponsorship money, it will not be an extra entry fee. And their goal is do as much as they can for the skiers without losing money. And I totally understand and applaud that.
I think it's wonderful. Obviously, it's crazy important to you've got to stoke the fire on the grassroots level. But I think the mistake we've been making for far too long is disregarding the elite, the pro side. I mean, you take away if the NFL stops tomorrow, I mean, what is that going to do to participation in football across the country, or baseball, or the whole deal, right? You take away, you water down or eliminate the elite level, then that driving force to get better or to reach that level disappears.
This is truly an elite U.S. national championship. So you can argue about Open and Men's Masters National. Should they be there? Should they not be there? How do you feel about this, that, and the other? But in this case, in this event, it is U.S. national skiers only. So, sorry, Trent, can't ski in it. When they're done, when the event's over, we will have crowned a unquestionable U.S. national open champion, men's, women's slalom trick jump. I think that's really a big step forward. And when we think about pro events and we think about the top four or top six in a pro event, it's a mix of nationalities. I'm not really sure who the favorites are to make the final for U.S. I mean, I guess we can look on the USA Water Ski website, but I mean, there's kind of going to be some dark horses, especially in trick and jump. I think it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's the single most important thing that's happened in U.S. water skiing in quite a few years. This is a game changer. This is what if you want people to stay and grow within the sport, they've got to have something to aspire to. If Canada didn't do the Canadian Open the day after nationals, there's no way I would have continued into this. I mean, that was just my dream. I wanted to ski the Sunday after nationals. That's something that Canada's always done. It's not a pro event, but it's a separate tournament the next day. And I mean, that was everything, man. You get to ski on Sunday. You're making things happen. So this is incredible, man. It's I could not be more excited or be prouder of these guys for this initiative.
I'm right with you. All right, what do you got? What do you got coming up? What's on the calendar?
Okay, Junior U.S. Open. I'm super excited. It's in Alabama next weekend. I've got 7 kids that I work with skiing there, so I have, personally, I have an interest in it, and it's just it's a great event. So we'll
Wait,
definitely checking in on that.
7 kids, name them.
1, 2, 3 Grathwall kids, Griff Stangy, Caroline Parker, Cullen Parker. That's 6 kids.
So you forgot somebody, didn't you?
No, I may have now.
Is Super Chicken too old? Or is she there?
I don't think so. I just don't think she's going.
Oh.
Maybe
Okay.
she's going.
Okay.
She might be. I don't know.
We'll call her 7.
Yeah.
We'll keep her real name out of it in case she
But,
doesn't go.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep all the names out of it. But yeah, Junior US Open coming up next weekend. I've got a bunch of skiers skiing in that, so I'll be watching really closely. We'll cover that next week.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think I'm delivering my boat in a week or so, and I don't think it's a secret anymore that it's going to ASU. So those kids at Arizona are gonna have a good time in that boat. Really glad to see them in Mastercraft, and the new ball spray boat Mastercraft will be here about then.
Awesome. Can't wait to see it.
All right. That's all I got. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Later.